if it is Wednesday, you are here with your girl Soso on the Sohria Alexander Show. Welcome, welcome, one and all. And how are you today? Well, tonight, from the north to the south to the east to the west, I bid you welcome. Welcome to all my listeners in Radio Land. How are you doing and how was your day? Hope everything was fine. I know some of us may be a little down because of the revelations that we got concerning one of our missing soldiers. And we will discuss that tonight, but it would be remiss of me if I don't greet you and thank you for watching the Sohria Alexander Show. Many people are loving the show. Welcome to my YouTubers and my Facebookers. And it is always a pleasure being here with you. And when I know I am touching your life, it makes me feel fantastic. And to all my listeners, the elderly citizens, the sick and shut-in, those who are at work right now in the bars, in the hospital, in the restaurant, wherever you may be, just chilling at home, welcome to the Sohria Alexander Show. And we have so much to discuss, so much to talk about. And it is just unbelievable. And one thing I have realized is that people are really listening to the program because, the things they say to me, I'm like, okay, people, that is why radio is very fantastic. You could be at work, you could be wherever, in your vehicle, going home, you could listen to the show. And it is a pleasure being here with you on Liberty 92.3 FM. And we'll be able to get even a wider audience when we go on Liberty TV, Flow 119 pretty soon. I'm excited being in your home for the next hour. And I appreciate people. And let me tell you something. We must learn to be our brother's keeper. Excuse me, we must learn to be our brother's keeper. We have become very selfish people. We have become very selfish people. Let me tell you, how it works. If you're not speaking my narrative, which is politics, my government, my rep, my whatever, I wouldn't say most people, because I find I have many intellectuals, many citizens of St. Lucia, both here and abroad, who really want to listen to a show that will allow them to think and for us to come together and make a change in our country. So my show is for those who really want to make a change in their own personal lives and in their country. We're not about rural. And on Monday, my heart was so blessed. This was a comment left for me on my Facebook page, because I also stream to my Facebook page and YouTube, because I know there are some people who want to listen to the show, so I stream it there for them to hear. And one of my listeners, viewers, supporters, his name is Charlo Jackson Simon, a young man, a very brilliant young man. A young man I have been dialoguing with for about 2 years. And let me tell you, he's brilliant. These are the young people who needs to be in the forefront. And I know he's studying economics. And, if he decides to return to St. Lucia to live or whatever, these are the young men. Because I like to speak to people who cause me to think outside the box and not just agreeing with me with everything I say, or me agreeing with them with everything they say. In order for you and I to progress, we have to push the envelope. And he said, all of your shows are of the very highest standards. Content is very relevant to our current societal issues. This is what he said to me, and this is what I am about. And I said to him, thank you so much, Charlo, greatly appreciated. And this is what I am about, looking at the issues that affect us, and not coming here and being biased to say it is my party in power or it is not my party in power and slant the narrative. My narrative will always be concerning the issues, because when the issues arises, you and I are the ones being affected the most. So I have to speak about the issues. And somebody called me again. Good night, Fred Mathre. Fred is from Sohria, and Fred also said to me, Fred said, so you were my best accountant. I used to work at a particular place with him. They always get their salaries, everything on time. And then he said to me, so I love your show. Your show is the only show that is like that on the airwaves, and we cannot wait for you to get on television because we love it. We're tired with all the back and forth, the roro with the politics, and it really made me feel happy. Good night, Fred Mathre. Always listening. What he does, he takes the show on YouTube and he streams it on his TV, wherever, and he watches it. Good night, Freddie. Thank you for that encouragement. And he also gave me some good information about Greg Eugene, who is the owner of Liberty 92.3 FM and also Liberty TV. And it is very nice to hear your friends know of your struggle and where you came from. It is very, very, very nice that your friends can speak like that about you. And this is what I am here for. And he will tell you, Freddie will tell you, this is also who Soso is, straight. Anybody who knows me will say I'm very straight, but I'm a very loving person. Right? In private, I'm very private, reserved, in my own space, doing my thing. Because let me tell you something, laugh with everybody. Laugh with everybody, be pleasant with everybody, but trust none, and you will live a very happy life. Because my discourse with you tonight will explain to you why I say that. I am somebody, I can jump into my vehicle, attend any function, go to any restaurant by myself, eat, do everything by myself. I am confident in myself to do that. And I went to an event at the Sandals Golf Course Club. And let me tell you, I went there alone. I had a good time. I meet people. You meet people you know, people you don't know. I had a good time, everything. When it was time for me to leave, a young gentleman came to me and he said, can I walk you to your vehicle? I want to see that you get to your vehicle. I was about to say no, but I said, no. He said, can I walk you to your vehicle? Now, that was not now, that was, a couple back years. Not years, but a little way back. Not when all that mad crime started. Can I go nowhere? So he came and he said, can I walk you to your vehicle? I said, why not? I said, okay. He made sure I got into my vehicle. He watched me drive off, right? That I was safe, and then I went about my business. I am saying that to you people, driving out of the Sandals Golf Country Club. If you do not know your way, you are going to get lost and you can go off-road. It is very easy. The place is pitch dark. Now, why I mentioned this young man, he doesn't know me. He was there, he spoke to me nicely and everything, nice, respectful young man. And I'm saying, be your brother's keeper. Maybe, when you do good, God send angels to your rescue to protect you. So he said, I am coming, with you. Be your brother's keeper. And I segue to Defreitas, which on Tuesday, a golfer happened to see a vehicle submerged in the Sandals pond at Cap Estate. He alerted the authorities and the authorities came. Be your brother's keeper. Let me tell you, obviously, Omar did like so. Omar went to his staff party by his lonesome, his friends, everybody there. And when he decided to leave, he said bye-bye, and he went into his vehicle and drove off. Is it because he is a man that he was not given the attention that I was given? Like this young man came to me and say, Miss, can I escort you to your vehicle to make sure you reach in your vehicle, to make sure you get, out safely? Is it because I'm a woman? And because we say, oh, Omar is a man, Omar could just go in his vehicle and go. But let me tell you something. When you are, it's a staff party. It's a staff party. Everybody knows everybody. You mean to tell me that no one said, even if people say they have security, the security they have is scatter here there. I see the security when I went there. Scatter here, there, and everywhere. You mean to tell me, Sohria Alexander, you mean to say to me, none of Omar's friends say, okay, Omar, let me just go to your vehicle with you. This place is very lonely and black when you're coming out. Nobody said, Omar, okay, let me come with you, get in your vehicle and watch. If somebody had said that to Omar, be your brother's keeper, be your sister's keeper. If somebody had said, okay, Omar, let me come with you, make sure you're okay and everything. This place is pitch black. Let me see everything's okay. The poor gentleman could have been alive. And I have no confirmation, but I am assuming, me knowing that place, me seeing the path that his vehicle took, it means that Mr. Defreitas apparently didn't know that road. Now, do not go and say, oh, he's working at a hotel. No. I have driven that road many times, and I still get confused with this road, especially in the nighttime. When you leave that building, excuse me, the Golf and Country Club, and you walk pitch black. Sometimes where you park your vehicle, if there is a lot of people, well, I always park my vehicle, make sure my vehicle is parked in the car park. But if you park along the road, you have to walk to it, your vehicle, and it is pitch black. So when I found out on Tuesday, somebody alerted me. I have my peeps, they alert me as to what happened. I was like, oh my God. I could not believe that. And many people will just, even me, I was very furious. I was like, you mean to say to me, the vehicle never left the compound. The vehicle was on the compound for months, since January 6th. Now, we will say, and it's good to have young people who really open up your mind, like my son was saying to me. Because I was like, you mean to say to me that this happened to Omar, okay? That his vehicle not too far away from the building, the golf club, that nobody heard that he went into the river. Nobody heard a bang, nobody heard a splash. And then my son brought me to reality. This is why I like young people. He said to me, Mommy, the gentleman was at a function where there is a lot of noise, manufactured noise, the music, people talking, people laughing, people jumping. So the chances of people hearing that he went into the pond, a big splash, is very, very minute, very small. And I had to agree with him. But what I am saying, that being the case, and I've seen it, I've driven off security, look to see if I've driven off. If it's not the young man who came to say, Miss, you want me to take you to your vehicle, blah, blah, blah. Security, I care with you. Because had the security realized, because, what is security in St. Lucia anyway? I want somebody to explain to so tell me, what is security in St. Lucia? What is security in St. Lucia? Because if this person is leaving the building, the country club, and he goes into his vehicle, and the security is there, right? They could have a security at the entrance when you come in to the car park, and the security is at the end, and the security watches the vehicle leave. He may have heard the splash. I'm not saying he would have heard it, but he may have heard the splash. But you know, it is just ridiculous how we only care about ourselves. And it tells me something about this young man, that his parents or somebody raised him well. And you mean to tell me, my friends, I'm going to give you another incident. This is why I'm saying choose your friends wisely. I went to a staff party. And what happened, it was not, like it's bad right now. And then, one of the guys said to me, would you like me to see you home, get home safely? I said to him, I'm not too far from home, where the event was being held. I said, I'm not too far from home. You know what he did? He drove behind me, and then I realized he was driving behind me to make sure I arrived at my home safely. And then when he realized, he stopped, he came out, he said, so I was following you to make sure you reach home safely. Where are those kind of people? Our colleagues, where are they now? Let me tell you what y'all care about. Fighting for politician, here and there. That is what y'all care about. And I can never forget this young man, these two young men doing that. I'm older than them. And this is to show you, these are young men that will be good husbands. And I think recently both of them got married. These are the young men that will be good husbands, good fathers, the movers and shakers of our society. You mean to tell me, people just leaving, people just going, people don't care? Even when I went to my alumni parties, we would make sure everybody reach home and make sure we communicate and everything, or we go in twos, or we do what we have to do. What is going on? Have our world become so cold and callous that we don't care about anybody? Now, I am coming to the authorities, but I have to deal with the human aspect first. The way we behave as human beings is like we don't care. All of us have an agenda, and if it's not my agenda, or if it's not my way, it is the highway. We could have saved Omar by somebody being responsible. Now, somebody is saying, oh, maybe he was drunk. But based on what the staff members have been saying, I'm subject to correction, that Omar said he had to work the following day and he would not drink. So it is, in my little detective mind, maybe, I wouldn't say he fell asleep. Maybe he had a medical emergency. Or maybe his vehicle malfunctioned. I know we are saying that where the vehicle was found in the pond is not too far away from the golf club. And many of us are angry, but I did some research yesterday as soon as I saw that happen, because I'm like, how the authorities didn't see that? How they were not able to see that this vehicle was there? But we're going to talk more about this after this coffee commercial break.
If it were a perfect world, I would never leave my seat. My fingers would do the clicking. My card would do the paying. And if it were a perfect world, my items would be sent hassle-free from this location to me via air or sea. And if it were a perfect world, in this one building would be warehousing, stress-free customs clearance facilities, and island-wide delivery. Fortunately, the world is that perfect because I've chosen West Indies Shipping, the leaders in imports, exports, clearance, and deliveries for over 20 years. Call them West Indies Shipping. Telephone 459-0444.
Catch the Sohria Alexander Show on Mondays and Wednesdays from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. right here on 92.3 Liberty FM. This show will revolutionize your mind. Your host, Soso, awaits you. See you there.
Yes, and remember to catch us every Monday and Wednesday from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. on Liberty 92.3 FM. Now remember I said to you that I would explain to you, people, we all are saying that they should have realized Omar was there, but I don't know how the investigation was done, because it is alleged that his vehicle, the surveillances, the cameras are saying the vehicle never left. Now, if we have that type of information, allegedly, that the vehicle never left, which is apparently, the vehicle never left the compound. It was on the compound on Tuesday. What were the processes involved in that search? That we scouted the whole island. To me, the most obvious place to look is where the person was at that time they went missing. The person's last location. His last location was at the golf club. That is where he was, at the golf club. So why wasn't the area scouted? Why wasn't the area combed? Why wasn't the area swept? And he was right there. Now, I did some research, as I said, and let me tell you, many times we look for missing people or missing persons. They are right under our noses. They are right under their noses. And I will, looking at that video, it kind of give me a little consolation, but at the same time it didn't, because I cannot understand that if the Sandals Golf and Country Club employ groundsmen who manicure those lawns so beautifully, they take care of the surroundings, that they did not see or smell anything strange. But what I was told is that the water at the time in the pond was very high, and the only reason the vehicle was seen was as a result of the water receding. That may be a fact which we cannot dispute, but I will still state that our authorities, I need you to explain to me how that happened. That the first place you were supposed to cone and sweep, were you told you cannot do that? Were there hiccups? Did somebody pull rank and say, you really can't cone my property? There are a lot of questions. There are lots and lots of questions. Take a listen to this video and you will understand what I'm saying. Christmas tree decorator discovers submerged car with body inside.
A stunning discovery, a car with a body inside found in a shallow Kent County pond.
It did not take long for authorities to realize that it had been there for years. New at 6. 24-hour News 8's Leon Hendricks talked with the man who made the discovery that is helping a family gain closure.
There it was, after all this time, all these years of searching and wonder, the car, the driver still seated behind the wheel. It's believed to be Davy Niles, a man who was 62 when he disappeared in 2006 after a cancer diagnosis and noted depression. There were posters. It made news. His face, the car, last seen along Division Avenue in Kent County. Years and years, no answers. The family finally gave up hope that he was alive out there. The obituary. David Lee Niles, age 72 of Wyoming, passed away, and only God knows the time and place. Little did anybody know he was apparently never far. The car he disappeared in captured quietly on Google's satellite imaging. The pond along busy 84th Street west of Burlingame. Only now, finally spotted by human eye. The final bizarre twist in this tale was in how the car was discovered. A worker at the funeral home nearby was decorating their company Christmas tree when he got to the top to put up the star and noticed something below.
Good thing we did the Christmas tree one more time.
His friend on the phone didn't believe it.
I am as serious as heart attack. It's all over the news.
And when Brian Hausman of Cook Funeral Services saw it yesterday, he hardly did either.
And then all of a sudden you could see in the pond, all of a sudden it's like, whoa, there's a car out there. No one could ever see it. It was murky and things moved around or don't know.
Niles' family came to the scene to see for themselves where he'd been all this time. At last, they say, relief. They finally have some answers. His family says this brings them a lot of closure after almost 10 years.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel?
Well, I'm just happy for that.
Investigators say they need to make positive identification. They're going to use dental records to do this, though they really do believe that this is Niles because it was his vehicle and they did find his identification in the vehicle. At this point, they have no reason, they say, to believe that foul play was involved at all. In studio control, Leon Hendricks, 24-hour News 8.
And exactly what happened to Defreitas? 10 years later, he went missing in 2006. His family went all about looking for him. They couldn't find him. And it took a worker who was decorating a Christmas tree, who went on the ladder to put the star, to realize there was something at the bottom. And then they used Google satellite to realize, yes, there is something in the pond. And the pond was not very deep. It happens, it happens, it happens. It happens, it happens. And I know a lot of people may be saying foul play or whatever, but I am not the one doing the investigation. But as I said, it could have been a result of a medical emergency. I guess when they do the autopsy, they would find out what happened to the Omar. They would find out what happened to him. And it could also be that his vehicle malfunctioned. But I will tell you what I really think happened. Excuse me. I will tell you what I think really happened. Omar didn't know the road. I do not think Omar knew the road. And this place is pitch black when you are living it. I do not believe there is any foul play in that. I'm not a detective, but me being there a couple of times, many times, to the Golf and Country Club, I will have to say, this place is pitch black. Driving in there is, I like to go to certain places that's very lit, but driving in there, Capacit, and going to the golf club is like fright night. And leaving, it's like Friday night. You're going there, inside the place is beautiful, you have a good time, but coming out to get out, it's horrible. So I personally believe it is a situation that he misjudged the road. I see people saying all kind of things, he was drunk or whatever. I don't think they have nothing drunk, the guy was drunk. And let me tell you how we operate in this country, Let me tell you how we operate. Nothing is our business until it becomes crisis. Nothing. Let me explain something to you people. When I go to the Ridgeway Beach, although I have banned this beach for years, I'm not going to that beach. I really love the VG Beach. That's where, my area where I was raised and I swam and I do everything. I really love the VG Beach. And maybe occasionally Pigeon Point, but my beach is the VG Beach. I just don't understand. When I used to frequent the Ridgeway Beach, I never went into the water, or my children, if I saw jet skiers and people on the things pulling. I never went because I have seen the close calls, the madness that has happened. Nothing is our business. So the authorities, they like for drama, they like for death to happen, for them to do something. So the accident where this French national had a serious accident with an American national, and subsequently she died. Now everybody would want to talk and put measures in place. Why wasn't measures put in place before? These are the things we have to discuss, but it's politics alone we want to beat our mouths for. Why don't we have a water body organization to monitor those things? That should never happen. Skiing on the water should never happen. So close to humans, swimming in the sea. You want to do your jet skiing, go out into the ocean and swim. If you can, and ski. If you can't swim, put your life jacket on you. So when you drop in the water, you go down, you go come up. Nothing is our business. Now they have arrested him. They have charged him, and they have remanded him into custody. So it is only when things become crisis we want to put measures in place. Now you want to talk. You know, I am really wondering about the educated people we have in St. Lucia who's supposed to be brilliant. They are very reactive and not proactive. This lady could have still been alive. Now, what is the water laws or whatever you want to call it concerning open bodies of water close to land like a pond? And if there's one place I do not like to drive is VG. When you're going up VG and you tell, VG is a peninsula, I like to drive there. But what measures have been put in place for the water ponds, the open areas where people drive and where accidents can happen? Even at Tapia, where this lady, went over, I think that maybe a year or two ago, went over the barrier, there was no barrier, just went over and into the cliff and the water. What are we doing to protect our people from dying? We all have to die, yes, but we can prevent people from dying too soon, And I do believe people die too soon. Some people are saying, no, everybody have their number. I believe that, but some people die too soon. So if that open pond was protected with iron barriers, Defreitas may have still been alive. So as he is dead, everybody right now, and I know they're going to treat that situation with kids' glove, yes, money talks and crap walks. So I want to know if the barriers were around the pond safely. Defreitas may have still been here. We're talking facts, but everybody a lot of people will go mute on that situation, but let's talk, people, because at the end of the day, it can happen to you. It can happen to me. It could happen to a loved one. What are the policy makers doing in terms of protecting beachgoers from this horrific accident that happened to the lady who come on her little vacation with her daughter and end up dead because a jet skier was irresponsible? And there are no laws. You have horse riding on the beach, people trying to cool out. That's why I don't go to these beaches. People trying to cool out, horse riding, diggly fellas riding, horse defecating all on the sand, and you have national council or conversation, conservation. What? We have so many different organizations with useless names doing nothing. You think it is only beautifying a beach that is going to make a beach beautiful? We are the beach goers, the people who patronize the beaches. All kind of groups and nothing happens. Let me tell you, we waste a lot of money in this country on irrelevant things. The primary focus has to be on people, people-centered, people-centric. And with this, I will take my second coffee commercial break.
If it were a perfect world, I would never leave my seat. My fingers would do the clicking. My card would do the paying. And if it were a perfect world, my items would be sent hassle-free from this location to me via air or sea. And if it were a perfect world, in this one building would be warehousing, stress-free customs clearance facilities, and island-wide delivery. Fortunately, the world is that perfect because I've chosen West Indies Shipping, the leaders in imports, exports, clearance, and deliveries for over 20 years. Call them West Indies Shipping, telephone 459-0444.
Catch the Sohria Alexander Show on Mondays and Wednesdays from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. right here on 92.3 Liberty FM. This show will revolutionize your mind. Your host, Soso, awaits you. See you there.
And we are back, and we are very grateful to our big sponsor, West Indies Shipping. Please call them, visit them for all your shipping needs. I've used them and they are remarkable. Hassle-free. They call you, you go to their beautiful location in Cul-de-sac. You go in, wonderful service from the staff. You get your documents. You go check customs. Customs tell you how much you have to pay. You go, you pay, and you out. You get your driver wherever you drive yourself, and you get your package out. And I'm very thankful that they have sponsored the Sohria Alexander Show. And we have some other sponsors who are going to be coming on board. And the show, as I said, is a positive show. It's not a show that going to depict, all the political gibberish and garbage that goes on. No, we're not doing that. Now, my people, as I was saying before, only when things become crisis it is our business. That's when we want to talk about it. That is when, oh my God, we want to cry. Don't we have so many boards in St. Lucia, some of them useless. We have so many boards in St. Lucia, they're useless. And it begs the question. It begs the question. How was the search for Defreitas, Omar Defreitas, was conducted? And before I go on, I just want to extend my sincerest condolences to his mom. Mom, I cannot even tell you, or I don't even know, I cannot imagine how you are feeling. But be comforted that we all as St. Lucians are with you and are supporting you. You are in our prayers. And I'll be honest with you, Mom, I was really rooting that you got your son back alive. I saw how much you love this boy, how much you spoke well about him. And when I heard his little baby, his little son, 3 years, was asking for his daddy, it tells me that Omar was a good son. It tells me that Omar loved you as his mother. It tells me that Omar loved his son. And we mothers, we don't sleep until we know our children have arrived safely at their destination. And Mom, I remember you saying that you told your son Omar you're not taking your keys to go with you? And then you said, Omar said no because he has to come back early because I think he said he has to go to work. And Mom, I realized how much connection you had with your son. And it is our duty as citizens of St. Lucia to rally with you because one mother's pain is another mother's pain. And you may not have known that, but I used to pray for you and that your son returned to you. He has returned to you, and at least you can find closure to lay your son to rest. God is going to give you the strength you need. And in his good words, in his Bible, in his holy book, he said that he will never give us more than we can bear. He would never give us more than we can bear. And his grace and his strength is going to see you through, Mom. It is sad when a young life has just departed from us. And I'm just praying for you, continued strength for you, your entire family, and his son. So I just want to find out also, what were the techniques involved? Is it as a result, maybe, I'm going to be very frank here, maybe the property is a very prestigious property. The owner has a lot of clout, very well known. Were the authorities afraid to really go in there and do investigations? This is one of the questions I ask. Did the authorities scout the place, comb the place? Did the authorities do that? Did they sweep the place? Because if people are saying his vehicle never left, and let me tell you something, I know how the corporate world works and everything, but you police officers, if you need to get what you have to do to go in there and comb the place, you do it. It took a golfer. It took a golfer to realize, hey, what is this vehicle doing there? It took a golfer. Thank you, Mr. Golfer. You brought closure to a family's pain. Because if y'all had combed this place properly, unlike the video I showed you where the guy went into the pond, it was very shallow, they didn't see him, they didn't know his last whereabouts, whatever. We knew Omar's last whereabouts. Why didn't we get metal detectors and comb the place, comb the pond, do what we have to do? And again, this place ain't got no proper lighting. This is just my personal opinion. Please don't hold it against me. I personally believe Omar may have run off the road. This is my personal opinion. I believe Omar may have gone off the road. This is my personal opinion. He didn't know the place. And I am not just telling you that because I want to say it. I know what I'm saying, my personal experience with this place. If you know that place, you lose in. Place dark. And people, if you're going there, make sure you know the place properly. Or if you're going, make somebody drive you that know the place. So, did y'all come there? Public, we have to get on the police case. When they do good, so love them. When they're not doing so good, so on their case. I want to know, did they comb that property? Did they take the camera surveillance? Because it's a big property, obviously they have cameras. Did they take those cameras, those footage, and see what was in there? They would have never found this gentleman, Omar, if it had not been for the golfer. That place wasn't combed. It wasn't combed one bit. You should be able, oh, there is a pond. That was his last place. Let us see if he went into the pond. Let's get divers, or let's get drones, let's get metal detectors, let's get something. But y'all ain't get nothing. And then now y'all acting surprised. Y'all going all over. Y'all have $20,000 reward. The $20,000 reward, please give it to the golfer. Even if the golfer have money, give it to him, he'll give it to charity. Then y'all own again. If it wasn't for him, y'all won't find Omar. This is just pure rubbish. Pure nonsense. I'm disappointed. Put a mother through months of grief because people didn't do their work. What is going on in this country? What is going on in St. Lucia? And I want y'all to answer my question in a press conference. Did y'all comb the Sandals Golf and Country Club? Did y'all comb it? When y'all answer me, then I will stop being on your case. Nonsense. We cannot be doing that. Let me tell you, people, my friends, we were talking. My girlfriends, we were talking. We said, so, they tell me, so, don't get lost in St. Lucia. I said, Mishwe. I only go in A to B and I come back B to A to B. Mwe. Because medical ain't topper in St. Lucia. Education not topper. You crime solving ain't topper. You're losing the place, you lose forever. And people, there is technology. You can use your iPhone so your family could know where you are and your location. So if you're in distress, the iPhone, and we need this kind of technology in St. Lucia. The iPhone itself would ring 911 and they would get your location and they would send people to your rescue. Right, everybody for iPhone. You won't have iPhone, my people. You could do the WhatsApp location. Right? I am somebody, I always let my children know where I am going. We are not too big for somebody to keep tabs on us for them to know where we are going. Now I will show you a video from the inspector saying human remains found in Omar Defreitas' car in Kappa State. Listen, my radio audience, you can listen.
Well, the circumstances, that's the missing vehicle, but I cannot say that's Omar Defreitas, not until there's some level of forensic analysis, because the body, like I said, the remains is really decomposed, so you really cannot ID somebody just on the remains itself.
Where exactly was those human remains found?
Was it in the driver's seat, passenger seat?
In the vehicle, because I cannot really see, because the vehicle was submerged, so when they pull it up, it could have shifted. Yeah.
And we cannot identify if it was male or female at this point, no?
No, we can't identify if it was male or female at this point.
You're all awaiting the pathologist's results?
Yes, the pathologist is still on the scene, so they may be able to give us some information later.
Okay, and what time frame are we looking at for the family to get some kind of idea as to whether or not they believe it was, whether or not it is a man?
Again, well, that's dependent on the forensics, the results, the postmortem. Yes, so that's really out of the police hands, but we hope to speed along the process.
So you heard what he said. They have to do forensic, they have to do an autopsy, obviously, but given the fact that the vehicle was found in the pond and it was Omar's vehicle, most likely this is Omar remains. It is a very sad time for all of us. And we also have I have to say, if a search and rescue was done so shoddily, you think it's crime we will be able to solve in this country? The guy was under your nose for 3-4 months. January 6th, he has been under your nose. And then the police, we want y'all to say to us, did y'all comb the Sandals Golf and Country Club where Omar was found? What did y'all do? And in St. Lucia, let me tell you what we like to do. We like to sweep things under the table and say, finish with that. That is all we do, you know. And then we go back to same old, business as usual. Oh boy, let's talk about politics. Let's talk about Chasney. Let's talk about Philippe J. Pierre. Let's talk about this one. Listen to all the talk shows. Chasney, moi last ton about Chasney. Philippe J. Pierre, moi last ton about Philippe J. Pierre. When I speak about Philippe J. Pierre or Alan Chasney, it's for them to improve themselves for the betterment of our country. And then we have to be intelligent to realize that we don't allow politicians to play us. We heard the young men from Viewford, and my show on Monday talked about unemployment, and we heard the boys from Viewford saying that on a contract, when the contract finish, what they're going to do. And I listened to one of them. They want continuous employment, not by just giving them a contract. Give them the tools, give them the knowledge, give them the wisdom, give them the hands on, so that they are able to go out there and make money continuously. This is what the young men want. And sometimes, you know what we say about the young men? Oh, they're lazy, they just want to be on the block. You give somebody a contract. Whoever started that whichever government in the past, in the present, who started this contract business, giving people contract, that was the worst thing you all could have done for the young people. I would have preferred you invested in them and they get a skill, and that skill feed them, right? We in Viewford, why wasn't these young people trained? And again, it's foresight. Why wasn't those young men trained? Because I know a lot of these young men can do good dolls and good little things. Why weren't they trained in doing, because I know, is it National Skills Development? Yes. Why wasn't these young people, taught how to do those things? And then the government build a little bakery, build everything for them, put the equipment in there. Even if, just to cause them to be responsible, you say, okay, we're giving you the equipment, we're giving you everything, it is yours. But we just want you to be responsible, that you give us, if it's $200 every month for whatever. And then these young men would not think of just sitting there. And when I looked at them, these young men in particular, when I looked at them on Monday, these young men didn't look like bad fellas that just want to go and do things. I'm proud that they said, we just don't want contract. When you just give us a contract and it finish, how are we going to survive? Sustainability, that is what people want. That is what people want. Things to sustain them and not hand to mouth. Eat, go, hand to mouth. They want things that will keep them throughout their lifetime. There is something drastically wrong with our thinking, but we blame the young people a lot, but these young men were on point. These young men were on point. Let us stop the bickering. Let us stop the melee. And really, and to stop the melee, it starts with those in authority to realize that you are the ones to make the difference. You. And every government does the same thing. Contract here, contract there. What good is it doing for us? What good is it doing? I get a contract for $10,000 for a month. Then what happened to the balance of the 11 months now? I gotta eat. I got to eat. We need to change the way we do things. Water sports need regulations in St. Lucia. Right? Water sports. Open pond water areas like the ponds need regulation. You drive in from Tapia going along, no barrier. Many places you drive in St. Lucia, they have precipice, no barrier. Nothing is our business until it becomes crisis. And many of you don't want to come, not my radio audience, because my radio audience is there with me. And then we soon move into TV, so TV and radio. But you see the social media behavior. They want you to come and quarrel and say things and curse this prime minister, curse this opposition leader, curse this one. This is the kind of lives they want politics. I will not give you all that. I'm talking radio audience. I'm not talking to y'all because y'all there. I'm talking to my social media audience. Y'all would not share the live because it is not cantankerous, it is not raw. And many of them know what I am giving them is good food, right? They would not come and want to say, okay, let me share this live. Let me tell my friends, let me come and watch it, you know. My radio audience is always there and my TV audience will always be there because, you know, the reviews I'm getting about the show. And the reason why I am streaming it on Facebook and YouTube, because there are some people overseas who really want to watch the show and they don't just want to listen to it on the internet, right? They don't mind, and they're not in St. Lucia to watch it on the television. And this is the only reason I am streaming it on Facebook and YouTube. For the few, or else I would not have streamed the show there. Because I would leave y'all in your bacchanal, in your roro, in your mepui. These are the kind of shows y'all like. The bacchanal. And to say this and that, y'all will not come to a show that will enlighten your mind, change your thinking, push you forward, cause you to sit in your corner by yourself in your chair and start to think and say, hey, I've got to change my life. I've got to change myself. You're like Shasney. What's the other one? Philip JP. Hele. Sean. You're like this kind of role. When I have to speak on the issues concerning them, I will speak in a very respectful way, but not in the bacchanal way. That's what you're like. So this is why my radio audience, this is why they cannot sit on Facebook, or all of them prefer the bacchanal. They cannot sit and come and watch. But I am only streaming it on Facebook because of the faithful ones who really want to see it. I don't want them to feel left out. And with this, I will take my final coffee commercial break.
If it were a perfect world, I would never leave my seat. My fingers would do the clicking. My card would do the paying. And if it were a perfect world, my items would be sent hassle-free from this location to me via air or sea. And if it were a perfect world, in this one building would be warehousing, stress-free customs clearance facilities, and island-wide delivery. Fortunately, the world is that perfect because I've chosen West Indies Shipping, the leaders in imports, exports, clearance, and deliveries for over 20 years. Call them West Indies Shipping, telephone 459-0444.
Catch the Sohria Alexander Show on Mondays and Wednesdays from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. right here on 92.3 Liberty FM. This show will revolutionize your mind. Your host, Soso, awaits you. See you there.
Yes, your host Soso awaits you. We always gonna be here Mondays and Wednesdays from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. Now, some people have been calling me and they're saying to me, Soso, we need to know who is the producer of this show. Can you kindly make him do a show and interview? He's very articulate, he's very intelligent, he could do a show by himself. And one day he may do a show by himself. You know, he don't need mommy to interview him, the boy bright. And what I said to the individual, I'll wait when we are on television so more people will know who he is, you know, because some people, you know, they're not on Facebook, they're not on YouTube. So many people are going to see him on television, who he is. So I am going to wait for that time to showcase him and let him do a show on his own. He can do that. Mommy may have to be producer now. He can produce it and still do his show. This is how good he is. And you know, my sincerest condolences to Omar, mommy. Mommy, we do think of you. We are angry that, you know, it took 3-4 months for them to find him, but he was finally found. And God's grace be with you. But our authorities need to do better. Y'all need to do better. I angry at y'all. Because did y'all comb that area? Continue asking that question. You cannot tell me surveillance footage is showing that his vehicle never left the place, allegedly. Nobody dumped nothing in there. I see some people saying, was it dumped? Nobody dumped nothing there. Okay? It was just an unfortunate accident. It was just an unfortunate accident. Now, my people, you will see me, God willing, Monday at 9 o'clock sharp. Tell your family members, tell your friends, tell them this is not a political show. This is a show that discusses the issues and every other thing. It is not a political show. Enjoy your weekend. People, be safe. Love each other. Be honest. Be true to yourself. See ya.